Well, that leads me to something interesting that you wrote about female rage. And it dovetails perfectly in with these there's rage retreats that women are going on. And these tend to be the most privileged, advantaged women in America. And what are they exactly so rageful about? Something you recently wrote about and have pondered. So walk us through it. What's happening with the female rage movement?
Yeah, there were a lot of points that were converging when I decided to write this piece about female rage. One of them was this wellness trend, which really I think is just kind of a version of witchcraft, called a rage ritual. And it's led by a self-proclaimed witch, so I'm not just making that up. And all of these women pay thousands of dollars to go out into the woods together and scream their head off and bang sticks on the ground and think about all of the people who have wronged them and all of the injustices in their own lives and in the world. And somehow this is supposed to be cathartic because you are like composting your trauma. I think that was the wording that she used. It's like kind of a form of recycling.
Meanwhile, you can do this for free. We could all go out in our woods today and scream and yell with pots and pans.
Yes, you can do that whenever you want. And I just had to think about why these women are so unhinged. And I had to admit to myself, like, I kind of feel like that sometimes. I don't express it because, you shouldn't be a menace to society. But there is this like rage bubbling up in me. Can you relate? Like, am I crazy?
I feel rageful when I see these jerks talking about trying to indoctrinate my children with their weird perversions. Yes, I do. But here's a little bit. So here's some footage from women at the Rage Ritual Retreat. This was posted in May, but the original source is Mia Magic on YouTube. She's the woman behind the ritual. Watch. I feel sad. This is like our schools in New York after Trump won. A spitting image. Wait, let me stick with you on this, Mary. What are they so angry about? Like, truly, you can see them dressed in their Lululemons. Like, these are obviously not, they paid thousands of dollars. So they have some money. They have some spare time because, most people can't take a few days off to go to a rage retreat. Some were mildly attractive. So what are they so unhappy about?
I love mildly attractive. So, I mean, obviously, we're living in a time of material excess, and we have an excess of everything that we might want and all of the comforts that you could possibly dream of, and the clothing and the makeup, and you can live this life where you work a mindless job in HR or middle management, something like that, and you don't need anybody. But you're living in an extreme, quiet poverty of everything that a human being needs to flourish. And I think these women, they're the epitome of the affluent female white liberals, the awfuls. Like they would never admit this to anyone else or to themselves. But I think they feel a deep discomfort with the direction that society is headed right now, where crime is skyrocketing. This society is becoming less and less safe. There's less financial security. There's less predictability. You also look around and see no testosterone anywhere to be found. Like, all of the men are just becoming complete wimps. And it bears out in the statistics that T levels have never been lower in decades, and it's not going to get better anytime soon in that regard. So you really look around and see all these weak men, and I totally understand having a response that is absolutely hysterical. And that used to be a medical diagnosis, by the way. You could be diagnosed with female hysteria. I think we should bring that back.
So Alex, interestingly, the Free Press also had a piece about this in May by Olivia Reingold, and the title was, "I went to Karen Summer Camp." Karen Camp. I love that. I want to go, but no, wait, when I read more, I don't. Okay, so she writes that there were nearly 50 participants. They showed up to the same woman's Zoom for her first ever live virtual rage ritual. That only cost $47. That's not so bad. Happened at 1 p.m. in the afternoon when most employed individuals are still at work. Olivia points out, correct. And here's some of what she says. This woman who runs it, Mia, gives us a 6-minute warning about the powerful purging we are about to experience, which could lead to the re-traumatization of our pasts. Okay, this is already a bad idea. Stop re-traumatizing yourself if you actually had trauma. Try to compartmentalize and move on. The more time you spend thinking about it, the more damaged you will be. That's my 2 cents for what it's worth. And I've had a fair amount of trauma, so I know. Okay. Who do you need to yell at? She runs across her bedroom to bark at us. More. Go. The vibe now, according to the writer, is now Soul Cycle at Hogwarts. By 20 minutes in, there's a shift with Banducci, that's her last name here, now taking a softer tone like she is tucking us into bed. We are told this is our last chance for grunts, sighs, and groans. Can you imagine? Ooh. Okay, I just got it for free right here on the MK Show. And we collectively turn to the ceiling to emit one final howl. That I refuse to do. This is the best part. Okay, ready, Alex? At the end, a woman asks a question. If you don't have something specific to work with, do you feel like just showing up and working with the energy of rage is enough? They all know what she's asking. What do we do if we're not angry at all? What if we're a Karen without a cause? The answer goes as follows from this woman, Banducci. More often than not, what I'm raging about is like injustice in the world. You know, like what's happening in the Middle East, plastic in the ocean, the enslavement of animals. Like, you know, there's a lot to rage about. And I have found that when we make ourselves vessels for the rage that is due to greater injustice in the world, you're still composting it. Like you're still alkalizing it. You're still being in service to it. Oh my God. I can't.
This is exclusively an American privilege. Can I just say that?
Girls,
Only
we need to
women
have
in
this woman
America.
on. Would you please come back? I'm going to try to book her, and I want you two to. I need you to participate.
Live rage ritual? We're going to howl together?
We need to just cross-examine her on her methods and her borrowed rage. Keep going, Alex.
I mean, okay. My unique take on this is women are unbelievably idle in modern America, and this causes problems. So these women, you know, they claim that we don't have enough in this country, we don't have rights, and then when they, obviously that's not true, so then they run out of things to be angry about. No one else, in no other part of the world would they have that privilege. I think that we have everything in this country as women. So we're bored to death. Modern women are making a large disposable income. We have no family. And therefore, we're spending this disposable income on stupid crap like screaming in the woods for thousands of dollars. And I just want to remind you, this same thing happened in the 50s. So let me just remind you of this. Okay, so in the 50s, what happened? You had a whole bunch of really, really bored women. And the feminists said, well, it was because the 50s were so terrible. Women were unpersoned. We didn't have rights. It was a terrible decade for us. And they hate it. And I also hate the 50s, but not for the same reasons that the modern feminists do. So all of the modern conveniences and inventions that made homemaking easier, like TV dinners in the 50s, laundry machines, frozen chicken, saying all those are bad, but they all came so quickly that women basically had no idea what to do with their time. So they got super bored fast. And then what ended up happening is they revolted into what became the sexual revolution, right? Because women need to feel like they are contributing members of society. Marriage is good. Kids are good. Having someone to look after and pour into other than yourself is good. And it curbs becoming self-centered. These liberal women have everything in modern America, so they have to come up with ways to feel marginalized and have something to do with all of their excess time and money. Hence, what we're seeing here.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.